Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the first time I believe I have ever been on time with our webinar. Hello, hello. I'm your host. I'm Lauren Petrullo, founder of Mongoose Media, and very excited to have you all here today. I am going over one of arguably my favorite topics of our weekly webinars, which is the 5 Horsemen of the Ads Apocalypse. I love everything that has to do with meta ads, and the way that we get to talk about our approach to our meta advertising is how we deem the 5 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Shout out to Mike McCary yesterday, who pointed out that technically there are only 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but since this is 5 horsemen of the ads apocalypse, it's 5. It's my rules, my number. Whoops. We've been doing this for at least 6 months. And what's surprising is that, like, as far as I can recall, this is the first time someone said that it's 4 horsemen, not 5. But hello, Shake. Hello, Irish. Hello, Guam. Hello, Grace. I should have held that a little farther. Super excited to have all of you join us. This will be a little bit different. Heather will be behind the scenes, but joining a little bit later potentially. So I'm actually going to be running the slides today. I know last week we were doing improvisation for improvement, but I have the slides myself. Hello, Bay. Welcome to the party as well. If you're joining us on the Restream URL because you've signed up, awesome. Super glad to have you here. However, if you want to join live comments where I can throw out your pink waving hand, you do need to be on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or on Facebook for us, and we'll be able to set that up so we can share it. Otherwise, we're so glad to have you, whether you're watching the replay or watching the live video and unable to comment. The goal of these are to be informal, but ideally informative. I do have my team on these calls, so it's me training them on topics that we preach and execute on for our clients, and you just get to be a fly on the wall in these scenarios. Every week we do a different webinar. This week we are doing the Horsemen of the Ads Apocalypse. In the upcoming ones, we'll do creative diversification inside the CMO, and then we're doing a special Saturday session because your girl is on a flight and will be in Europe. So I'm not going to be doing that one on Friday when it's going to be early in the morning. Either way, we've got a lot to cover, and we're already 2 minutes in. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen and go right into what we're talking about, what I call the 5 Horsemen of the Ads Apocalypse. So let me just juggle 2 things at once. This is why you have Heather. So in our subject, thank you so much, Heather. Private, she says, "You're doing great," in the chat that no one else can see. I'll take it. Okay, so what we're talking about, the 5 Horsemen of the Ads Apocalypse. I don't believe in a single campaign. Meta has been talking since 2018 about having the Power 5 creatives. Has anyone ever heard of the Power 5 creatives? And hello, Sammy, welcome. Has anyone heard of the Power 5 creatives? Like, if you have, let me know in the chat. If you haven't, also let me know in the chat. But this is something that Meta was preaching since 2018. We're in 2026. Simple math tells you that's almost a decade ago. So what I'm talking about isn't necessarily new. Now, this is different than the Power 5 campaign. There's some similarities in the sense that you have like your add to carts. You don't do add to cart campaign, purchase campaigns the same way. Way back when, you would have a campaign for add to carts so that you can get that 50 per week, and then you graduate into a purchase campaign. But the concept was Power 5. Oh, not yet. Yes. Okay. I wonder if there's any like blog content or anything that talks about it way back when. That was stuff that like our agency partners would push. And I have documents that I'm not allowed to share that still talk about it, because that's like when it was like funnel building and a lot of the stuff that the programmatic AI stuff that had been developed pre-Andromeda was built towards. But essentially, Meta was pushing since 2018 a consolidated ad account. Bay, this is new for you too. Amazing. Yes. Goal is that we learn each week. So a consolidated ad account meant that you don't want to have 10 different campaigns for sales. Way back then, you'd be doing a campaign for warm audiences and a campaign for cold audiences, a campaign for sale this, a campaign for sale that. Meta was saying for the most effective use of your advertising almost a decade ago was to have a more consolidated ad account. Now, like with any other ad account, sometimes what they are be selling is not what they have to be working, which means that as much as they were pushing for a consolidated ad account, the effectiveness of the Power 5 campaigns, in reality, did not match what in theory is supposed to happen. Since it's been almost a decade since they were pushing it, which meant that they had developed it even earlier than that. They just had to get their marketing language around it. Since then, the algorithm has evolved. And what I like to do is listen. When Meta is investing so much time and resource in telling you this is how it's supposed to work, I'm going to listen to them because I don't think I am smarter than all of the engineers combined that are building the ads networks that we're launching our ads upon. So that is how I develop what I call the 5 horsemen of the ads apocalypse, named, thank you, kudos to Bob Heiler, one of our amazing friends of Mongoose Media and me personally. So we have 5 horsemen of the ads apocalypse. Essentially what I'm trying to teach you is that I don't want you to have a campaign, a single campaign. I don't care if you're in your walk, crawl, or run version of your business. If you're spending less than $10,000 a day, spending less than $30,000 a day, or spending more than $30,000 a day, a month. Sorry, not a day. Oof. $10,000 a day, you are definitely a bigger account. If you are spending, whether you're at a crawl account, which is less than $10,000 a month, right? That's $300+ a day. If you are at a walk account, which is spending under $30,000 a month, which is $1,000 a day, or if you're spending more than that, if you're spending more than $1,000 a day, you're in a run. The crawl, walk, run, that's just what we define at Mongoose Media to understand where you are with your business so that you can see how you fit in. The reality is, to Meta, if you're spending less than $200,000 a month, at least this is what they quoted a few years ago, you're still too small for them. What's wild is that there are many brands that are spending over $200,000 a month. We're fortunate that we get to work with some of those brands, but we're also realistic that not all of our brands are at that level yet. There's a lot of things that have to take. So with everything, this is a strategy that I don't care if you're at a crawl, walk, or run. Walk, crawl, run is easier to say, but I'm working on it. Crawl, walk, or run. I still recommend that you have a multi-campaign set up into your account. Why? Because this 5 horsemen of the ads apocalypse is so that you can talk about both advertising your product and service, generating leads, as well as having supporting horsemen that can market your brand. And my rules, my definitions, my webinar, which means some of the definitions that I define as difference between advertising and marketing. For me, you're advertising your product or service. It's what you're doing, but you're marketing your brand. So marketing is the bigger umbrella, and then advertising is specific to the product or service that you're selling. I own Mongoose Media. We're a performance marketing agency and a design studio, a content creation team. Oh, without, sorry, I was like, ooh, it's not a Fresh Friday without an evil laugh. I have a Stream Deck. I need to add that to the Stream Deck because that would be super perfect. But Irish, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I want to steal that one. That's a good Lord and some. Okay. Anyways, so the different campaigns I want you to set up are so important because when you're marketing and advertising, 2 separate objectives, brand, direct to consumer, D2C sales, like you have different budgets, you have different objectives, and Meta is one of the most cost-effective places for you to leverage affordable marketing and precision advertising. So again, my rules, my definitions. Advertising is when you're advertising a product or service, you're hyper precise about an offer. No offer, no advertising. Marketing is where you're marketing your brand. You're talking about what you are as a solution. You're talking about your founder story. You're talking about why us versus them. Now, sometimes your marketing campaigns end up doing the advertising you want. I am not basing this on any other definitions, and that's what I have come to believe makes the most sense. You name it, you claim it. So that's my definition of it. So with this whole 5 horsemen concept, what I'm looking at is I want to use all fingers on my hands to grab a hold of all the success that I can achieve with Meta. 5 horsemen, 5 fingers, 5 different campaigns. I recommend whether you're a crawl, walk, or run, we instill inside of your accounts. Again, not the Power 5 of 2018 where you're having like 6 different campaigns that are all about sales. No. With the 5 horsemen of the ads apocalypse, each finger has a different objective. We are optimizing for something unique. So in today's, we're going to talk about ways that you can have 5 different campaigns. Next week, when we talk about on the creative diversification webinar, I'm going to talk about how you can make sure that you have the creative that supports the ads apocalypse that you're coming in so that you can be set up for success for winning. But today is all about meta ad campaign structure. Okay. Gonna scroll down. I don't know how to do this. Okay. We're not scrolling. We're clicking right and left. So in the reality of it, where we see campaigns, and I call it like the Avengers strategy, essentially, where like you're trying to put all your superheroes into one. That's a crowded bus. Okay. I watched the Thanos snap. When you put a bunch of superheroes together, what happens? The world can snap half of its population out of existence. That's not what I want. I don't want Meta to Thanos snap the quality of your ads so that they don't hit your target market. Theoretically, philosophically, you may disagree, and I welcome that disagreement. This is what has worked for us. This is based off of almost a decade of doing this. This is from having access to incredible talent and executive support at Meta that's helped us understand the direction the algorithm was built upon. I am not trying to fight against the algorithm. I am not making an assumption that I'm smarter than all the programmatic AI and the billions with a B, billions of dollars invested inside this ad network. And Drama is the ad retrieval engine that decides whether or not your ad's going to get in front of your ideal customer. Okay. When we are talking about doing a single campaign, like I'm going to put $1,000 a day into one campaign, and then you're going to have all your ads together in Avengers, you're setting yourself up for a single Thanos snap to your potential revenue. When you have one campaign, what we say is like a one-night stand with Meta. I don't want a one-night stand. I want marriage. I want to court my customers in a way that they are committed to my brand, my products, my clients, my services for life. I want access to their 401k, not access to them buying me a few drinks and calling it a day. One campaign is like a one-night stand. When we're talking about the chance to build a full funnel within Meta, you want to be able to tap into everyone that's a potential customer for you. We've heard a lot that only 3%, or what do we have here? 3 to 5% of the entire industry is ready to buy. I mean, we could be like surfing on Amazon, tons, and just be like, oh yeah, I want this. But only 3 to 5% of them are like actually ready to buy at the moment. That means 97 or 95% of your audience that is in market, potentially, maybe not now immediately, but in the near future, are being ignored. When you have one campaign that you're predominantly going after, that 3 to 5% ready to buy, you're fishing in one pond. I don't want that one pond. I want all of the ponds because I want to be able to grow my influence. That's why we market our brand, so that when that 3 to 5% is ready to buy, I'm the one that comes top of mind. Hopefully this is making sense to my team. I'm asking you to like give some feedback in the comments. Let's like slow me down if I'm going too fast. Ask me questions if something is unclear. For anyone else that's watching, Heather, I see that you're back on. If you can have the QR code for someone to join at YouTube, it's just youtube.com/@Mongoose Media. You'll be able to join in the conversation. Heather's going to get that QR code up. So if you want to participate, but from my team that you're watching, hey, Mongoose Media Pack members, please make sure that you're raising your hand in the comment section for anything that's unclear. Sounds fair? I'm assuming, I can't see your faces, but I can hear telekinetically your thumbs up as if we were on Slack. All good so far. Okay, amazing. Thanks for that clarification. Okay, we want a bigger pond. We want a pond to fish in. We want multiple ponds to fish in. Why? Because Lauren loves her sushi. Fish in the lakes and the oceans, not one pond, 100%. And because your lake might not have lobster, but the ocean does. I don't want to go after the tiny little fish in that pond. I mean, don't get me wrong, like fish are friends and sometimes food. But there's just so much more opportunity, bigger. And with full funnel marketing and how we can do that with our 5 horsemen, and it doesn't have to be only 5. You can build more than 5, of course. But I want you to high five yourself with success. So we're starting with 5. Okay. It gives you access. We can build a funnel every day. As you know, new topic every Friday. I'm your host. We're just going to follow through this. Who cares about me? This is all about you. So in today's session for the Ads Apocalypse, we're going to split this into 3 main conversations. We've already started talking really at length about why one campaign is killing your results. So we're going to keep on going. Then we're going to shift. And Heather, I'm going to ask that you have help for timing. I can see that you put on the screen the watch on YouTube. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me make this better. Oh, hold on. See, this is what happens when I'm the one who's in charge. That's not what I want. I don't want to have my face and this be big. Oh man, I'm working on this. You can see that there's, oh no, where did my QR code go? Let me see. I can fix this. I'm learning. Watch on YouTube. Oh, I can do this myself now, Heather. I am the captain now. Look, I'm getting better. We're using Restream every week. We're getting better and better at this. So if you want to join on YouTube, that's how you'll be able to participate in the comments and ask any direct questions. Otherwise, sorry, you have to pay us to be part of Marketing Rehab. We'll get personalized support. There, pitch over. Okay, back to the actual topic. So let me go into sharing the screen again. For the game plan, I'm going to go into specifics of then what the different horsemen are and why they are what they are. There's many different options. I'm going to go over some of the easiest ones to get you started with. And then last but not least, what is relatively new to this is the budget split and creative rules that support when you're going to do which campaign and how do you divvy up your money. I hear all the time from business owners and from marketing teams, well, how much should I put onto this? How much should I put onto that? Don't worry, we've got you. So that's the agenda for today. These are informal and with the goal to be informative, but I do want to be like, shout out to Heather, who's helping us elevate the informative by having some structure. So informal, informative with a tiny bit of infrastructure. So yay for AI. Okay, just to hide the QR codes, because if you haven't joined, well, joke's on you. Okay. So how many different active campaigns right now are most brands running? 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or more. If you are a brand that's participating live, you can definitely share that into the comments. And then just be mindful of, it'll be good, even if you're watching on the replay, just to see where other people are at. There are some people that are doing it as 1 or 2, which is the basics, and that's okay. We're not mad at them. We're just introducing them to ways that they can get better. As you can see, 3 or 4 is getting there, and there might be campaigns you never thought of using. And when I get into later the cost differences, you're going to say like, this is worth $5 a day, $20 a day, $200 a day, depending on your budget, to introducing it to. I've got percentages later that'll help explain it even further. But regardless of anything, anytime that you're advertising, you're putting paid media dollars, which honestly should be the last thing you do for your brand, because you should have already established the SEO. You should have already had like an organic presence on social media. Paid ads is arguably the last thing that you do, but it's the amplifier to a lot of your success. But before you spend $1, you have to dial in on the data and the destination. If you're not dialed in on having clean data fed back into Meta, if you're not dialed in and ensuring that the destination is set up for success, you are the problem. After learning this, and if you hear me get mad at you because you're saying, oh, Meta doesn't work for me, I'll have words. Because it's very likely that you are handcuffing and blinding Meta to finding your ideal customers. I described this to Mike yesterday, and I'm going to bring this example in for the team because I haven't told a lot of you yet. If you're not doing this 5 horsemen of the ads apocalypse strategy, if you're not building a full funnel strategy on Meta to market your brand, to then advertise your product or services, because advertising is all about 2 things, right? You're renting someone's attention. I mean, you can say, I'm buying their attention. No, you're renting their attention for the time of which they give you visibility, and then you're earning their trust. That's what advertising and marketing is. renting someone's attention so that you can earn their trust. Because what happens when you earn their trust? They buy from you. Holy alliteration. You're right. Dialed in on data and destination. And before you spend $1, dial in on your data and your destination. That's like the quadruple D's of marketing. It's so important. If your destination isn't set up for success, you can't do your offer. Like we have, I don't know if it's the next slide. Let me think in the order. It's getting there. Okay, perfect. You need to make sure that the destination that you're sending them to gives the offer. Why? Because your ad is not responsible for the sale. Okay, let me repeat it. Your ad is not responsible for the sale. Your ad is responsible for attention. Your landing page is responsible for the offer. And your funnel is responsible for the follow-up. Okay, ad is attention. Landing page is the offer. Funnel is the follow-up. Again, your ad is not responsible for the sale. Your ad is getting the attention of your ideal audience. The data that you've sent back to your pixel helps you find your audience with buying signals, with intent signals. Then the destination is you're putting an offer in front of them for them to decide if this is something they want to move forward with that. When we have moving forward, someone who assumes that the ad is the thing that's the only piece of the puzzle, it's not that Meta's not working for you. It's your own incompetence that's preventing you from having success. I'm glad that the renting attention and earning trust. I used to say owning attention, but the reality is you don't buy attention, so you can't own attention. When you buy something, you take ownership, and then when you rent it, you have it for a brief amount. So the mindset shift I need everyone to be aware of is that your ad can contribute to a sale. Ad is not responsible for the sale. The ad is getting the attention. So maybe if you're joining us, you saw one of the ads, like the Frankenstein ad or a Netflix style ad, or what else we've got? We've got revenue, we've got rope drop, we've got lots of different type of ads. We were able to rent your attention. And then when you went to the landing page, we convinced you by the trust that we had established that spending 10 minutes to an hour of your time in a fly in the wall type of scenario where I'm teaching my team the same things that I'm teaching you right now was worth your time. And then should my funnel in the follow-up continue to earn your trust, I have the opportunity to earn your sale. Ads are for renting attention and earning trust. And if you have not earned trust, it's very unlikely that you're going to get the sale. Big brands like Disney, who I used to work for, already had such a long-standing establishment of trust because you've been watching their movies since you were a child. You're watching their shows as you were a teenager. You've been attending the parks or out-of-park activations. Disney is something that you wear with your clothes, your backpack. You see Disney stuff like right now, like with the Mandalorian and Grogu. Oh man, showing that I'm not a big Star Wars person. Anyways, Baby Yoda, the movie that's coming out, they're doing all these different activations. You guys remember when Barbie came out? They had all these different activations. That type of advertising and marketing runs someone's attention and earns their trust, which then allows you to close. The funnel arguably can be your lifecycle marketing, your email, your SMS, and other type of engagements. Okay, great. Here, I was like, people are coming at me. Got it. Grogu. I mean, it's like Gru. It's like go Gru. And we love the minions. So anyways, it is a marketing by sales word. Always marketing and sales will say, my sales will say, the leads you give me are bad. And marketing says, you're not doing sales. You're right. Irish people will always have that forever marketing and sales battle. And this is what has to happen here. The funnel, like I said, is arguably like the lifecycle marketing, your email, your CRM, your SMS stuff, but it can also be your retargeting stuff. When I think of the Barbie movie, when it came out, there was $150 million spent on marketing. They matched production budget with marketing budget. And you know what? Barbie did a Billy with a B. So it worked for them. There's no guarantee of results forever and always. We can agree, unless you're using Shop Talk, because then they do have guarantee results based on that type of advertising campaign. But we're talking about Meta ads today, not Shop Talk ads or Shop ads. Your funnel, like with the Barbie application, they were just partnering with everything. There were Barbie Mattel, like brand with MAC Cosmetics. There was Barbie coordinations. I was like, hey, team, like go look. I want you to Google right now, like what are some examples of Barbie crossover marketing promotions that the film did? And if you remember them, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, if you don't, you get to Google it because I'm doing this. So bonus points to whoever's the first one that can remind us of one of the Barbie activations. For the new Star Wars film, The Mandalorian and Grogu, like Casio, the watch company, has a Mandalorian and a Grogu watch that's coming out. And then in that co-marketing activation, they have 2 dedicated watches, limited editions that are coming out. But then they also film the ad spot where it looked like a father with his Gen Alpha daughter going to the movies together and showing their personality in the watch, showing their connectivity. And there's really good, I mean, if you have a chance, like go to Casio.com and like look at that co-marketing item. But what's really cool is you see how like she's eating the popcorn, you see the watch, and you see these different things like we're going to be late, checking the watch. But what's fun is you get to tap into that co-marketing so that someone who's interested in Star Wars might be interested in Japanese futuristic analog watches that are as quality as the armor that the Mandalorian is wearing, assuming that the Mandalorian is the Pedro Pascal person. Pedro Pascal's in that. Oh man, I haven't worked at Disney for a while, so my Disney knowledge is not where it be. But let's go back to the ad is not your response for your sales. Before you spend $1, you have to make sure that the landing page, the destination, is dialed in. Because what happens if you rented someone's attention, you earn their trust, and then you took them to a landing page that just drops them off a cliff? It's this bait and switch game. You're like, oh, this sounds interesting. And then you're like, what happened? Everything on the landing page totally disconnects. When it disconnects, you're not able to sustain it. I was like, okay, just jumping back in. Irish remembers like Wicked collabs. Okay, share whatever you remember, like when Wicked came out. What were some of the product collaborations and stuff? It's okay that you don't remember for Barbie, but Heather remembers that there was a Barbie Dreamhouse Airbnb collaboration. Oh yeah, that one was a super good. Irish, super good. That was like super great. I believe Irish is saying like, yeah, the one in Malibu. I don't remember where it was, but I do remember that Airbnb like massive house that got rented for a few events. So those type of collaborations that can be set up in the funnel. Retargeting can be pieces to the funnel, but the thing is you've rented someone's attention, and then you earned someone's trust. And in the funnel, you can see like, based on like there was a barbecue. I assume that's like a barbecue sauce that Heinz did with Barbie. And then if you're in Costco, or if you're at your Kroger or your Ralph's or your Jewel's or your Dominic's or your wherever you buy your groceries from, right? Trader Joe's doesn't sell Heinz ketchup. I was like, oh man, I miss Ralph's. But when you're at the grocery store and you see this, you're reminded, it constantly connects with you, so that the funnel, you saw this, and then maybe you see an ad on Facebook, then you see an ad on Google, and then you see all these things. That funnel and the retargeting, or you signed up. More often when we think of funnel, we think of the captured. So I'm sending you an email, I'm promoting this to you. That's what closes. And the challenges that people have when you're not dialed in on your data is what you have is bad pixels, slow pages, broken forums. You need to make sure that your destination isn't taking too long to load and isn't broken. And you need to make sure that the data you're sending back in sets you up for success. Heather is saying, we mentioned it, there were so many different avenues because, you're thinking about Airbnb and Heinz. You guys like keep sharing other examples. I just $150 million. It was like record breaking. And I'm mad I brought this up in an example and I was like, my mind went blank. I was just saying that she brought back the Wicked examples. There's water bottles, bath bombs, Crocs. Absolutely. So there's some things though that I'd be mindful of. You can license Wicked and then you can co-market Wicked. So you're allowed to license characters. So you can license them to use in your marketing and advertising. So you pay like a royalty fee. Like I remember for Bomba Littles, we had licensed some items for a very popular book, children's book, and that was $1,000 a year. Then we were pitching for a very well-known cartoon character, and that was $75,000 a month to have access to use their character and likeness on our products. But when we have co-marketing, that's when it's done where like the Heinz barbecue one. So unless it was like with like Crocs the brand, that makes sense for co-marketing, Irish. But if it was like making bath bombs and using Wicked, that would actually be a licensing agreement. There was, Heather is saying like there was a Bumble turned Barbie and Ken into dating experts. Oh, that's fun. See, look at that. We've got Bumble, we've got Airbnb, we've got Heinz. That's food, that's travel, and that's dating. 3 very different verticals. Oh, that's super funny. Okay, I love this. Like, keep letting me know what other examples that you find with co-marketing for the films. It's also interesting because like product placement, I think with Gen Alpha, as a side note, Gen Alpha has grown up with a premium YouTube account. They don't want commercials. Gen Z has grown with the influencers. So Gen Alpha, like Gen Z was like, oh yeah, I know that I'm connecting with influencers. Millennials like felt betrayed. They're like, you sell out. How dare you? Whatever. People have to make money, right? Like I don't understand why millennials were like building all these trust into online strangers. But Gen Z were like, no, we get it. We accept it. So Gen Alpha is like, if millennials were like, how dare they? Gen Z is like, we get it. We accept it. Gen A is like, we reject if you don't sell us something. We expect it. They will expect you to do it and reject if you don't. Because in the Gen Alpha space, the friendship is the funnel. You have people that are Twitch streamers, you have YouTubers, you have content creators, because you haven't been watching commercials on YouTube if you're Gen Alpha. But all of the creators you're watching, these kids channels, they're all sponsored. So everything is an ad. So integrated ads, I think, is going to make a really big comeback. And that's where you can support those type of integrated ads and build something that is cross-generationally accepted. Oh my gosh, Heather, this is where if you were driving, you would show another screen that's like, oh, Lauren's list came out again. And then we would make that a drinking game in the sense of everyone come in with your water and take a sip when I'm like, which is the cross-generational campaigns. So if you have water, take a sip, because I slipped with my tongue. Okay. So setting this up, it doesn't matter your budget. It doesn't matter what your industry is. If you're SaaS, if you're B2B, if you're in e-commerce, if you're high ticket lead gen, brick and mortar, this 5 horsemen approach is a chance for us to build a full funnel and one of the most cost-effective advertising networks that are out there. Grace, just bringing this up. You're saying this is giving. Ad brings the crowd. Landing page talk. Funnel does the deal. I like it. I like it. Yes. So when we're talking about the 5 horsemen, 5 fingers, we have the first 2. These are your superhero campaigns. Okay. Number 1, your Batman and your Robin. Horseman number 1. The conversion stuff, this is what you want. This is the whole purpose of why you're running the ads. If you're high ticket lead gen, this is your book a call campaign. If you're e-commerce, this is your purchase campaign. What is the entire purpose? What are you advertising? This is your Batman. Batman comes to save all of Gotham. This is to save your bank account. Then you have a Robin, your Ricky Bobby. Without Robin, Batman can be a conceited prick. But when you bring in Robin, who's like a goofball, he helps make Batman a better person to follow. You need that comedy. But look at what happens with an L. If you're only using 2, instead of being able to high five yourself, you're a loser. Don't be a loser campaign. We want you to have a full hand. With a loser, I mean, like only having 2 makes you a loser. But when you start with your 2, at least, you know what? You have at least more than 1. If you remember, we were saying like where everyone is at. 3 or 4, you're getting there. 1 or 2, it's the basics. So, you know, you can be a loser, but we're still going to give you like a Gen Z clap, a Korean heart, like, oh, that's cute. But we're not, look how much difference the noise that makes versus our little Gen Z clap. Okay. In your Horsemen, we still have all of our attention. Let me take it back. We still have the large majority of our attention and budget on these two campaigns. We front end the budget, then we're going to back end the effort. Because I can grab a lot more money with a full hand than I can grab with two little fingers. So what we say is 2 locked and then 3 you choose, in the sense of always have the advertising campaign, the conversion point of what you're trying to do for your business. And then you have, how do you give yourself like a little Gen Z clap? A little, like, oh, he's so cute, right? I don't want to be so cute. I want to be like, oh my gosh, let me squeeze those cheeks. That's the level of enthusiasm I want from Meta when they're both bolstering and pushing your account for success. So always 2 locked. We don't do these. The only exception where I'm going to say you don't need the Batman and Robin is when it comes to money. Your Batman and your Robin campaigns, your Robin can be lead generation or it can be book to call if you are doing sales campaigns, and then maybe you have a book a call because you're also doing that funnel. Whatever the first thing that you're doing to advertise, and the most important thing you can market just before the sale. That's your Batman and Robin. Both of those campaigns need at least $60 to $100 a day. If you're running the 2 that are locked, you need $60 to $100 a day per ad set before you consider launching those. I recognize some of you that are watching this are managing smaller accounts. Some of you have smaller businesses yourself. I do not believe that there is a single company, brand, or product or service out there that should not be advertising. Take it back. I do not believe that there's a single legal brand, product, or service that falls within the allowable businesses to advertise on Meta that should not be advertising on Meta. I appreciate, Heather, that you like the little pinchy fingers and a full half ass. See, we're just getting better. And it's nice. And I appreciate everyone for your patience. Is these are informal, but ideally informative. And so we're locking and loading these. Those 2 you always do. But if you do not have at least $60 a day per campaign, that's okay. We start with the Horsemen. Otherwise, you always start with these 2. Okay. This is the whole purpose of what you're doing. And then when we pick the other 3 Horsemen, at least you can always do more. The other 3 then allow us to market so that the audience for Batman and Robin is easier. I need these 3 Horsemen to identify who lives in Gotham City for Batman and Robin to protect. Great question, Bay. Can Robin become a Batman for strategic reasons? That's super interesting. Let's do it from a lead gen perspective. If you're doing lead gen, so you have a high ticket sales, you have a phone program, you have someone that's doing the selling. It's not e-commerce where they're just going to purchase online. You might have the ability for someone to do the purchase online, but the reality is if someone, you wouldn't have a Robin become a Batman. It's just you misclassified them. You thought it was a Robin campaign, but the real reason it was actually a Batman one. I'm trying, unless there's always, it depends on exceptions. If you're an e-commerce company and then you open up a high ticket group. Okay, that's exactly a great example. Yes, I found an example. E-commerce, you sell products and then you have a high ticket group or you have a membership community that requires a phone call. And so maybe you have, and this is an example of someone, they have micro bikinis. It's an Australian-based company. They sell micro bikinis. Bikini can cost $50. The way that their business model evolved to is you buy a micro bikini, on your thank you, they say, hey, awesome. Would you like an additional $300 in credit to go shopping? Awesome. All you have to do is upload photos in your micro bikinis to our community page. So what they would have had is they were doing e-commerce sales, but then they could have done a Robin campaign, which could have been, for example, booked a call. So say that there was a phone call to sign up or join this, or it was lead gen. So it's like, I sign up, I want to be a member, like a start trial campaign of this community group. So they had 2 different products. They sold the micro bikinis, and then you got a $300 credit if you wanted to then upload 1 or 5 photos into this community, where then they have a second product where people have a membership to access the micro bikini pose photos. Think of like an OnlyFans. They have a membership subscription. What ended up happening is the membership product ended up outpacing the micro bikini sales. So in that use case, because maybe like it would have been like a lead gen where you get like a 7-day free trial into it, that is a situation, Bay, where I can see that Robin became a Batman. But in all honesty, it's like usually that you misunderstood it. There's no fixed Batman or Robin campaign. That's not true. Like, it's just depending on the industry or vertical. I'm glad you're asking this question, Irish. For Mongoose Media, our Horseman 1, our Batman campaign is a book a call funnel. We don't do a sales purchase conversion campaign. Yes, we have stuff that you can purchase. You can purchase access to Marketing Rehab. You can purchase, like you can buy our business cards. Ooh, let me grab one. They're super fun. Hold on. So like you can buy one of our business cards. You can buy the first date kit, right? Like they're super fun. Stop getting effed by your agency. And of course, we want you to practice safe marketing. Fewer STIs, more ROI. Our business cards are a lot of fun. So yeah, you can do it. So that's another use case. If, for example, then we just started selling so many of our business cards that overcompensated for what our agency services are, that would be another situation where they can switch. I'm glad that makes sense, Bay. But going back to Irish's piece, we're a high ticket lead gen campaign. So lead generation would be our Robin. Book a call funnel is our Batman. Desk. I call in Uplift because this is a very expensive desk. And I need to ask someone, hey, which desk, what's the right size? What are the right accessories? I can purchase my Uplift desk directly, but then I also have a Robin campaign, which is a phone call campaign, because at a certain price point, I need to talk to a human. So I wouldn't say there's no fixed necessarily. I wouldn't agree with that necessarily, Irish, because you can have a pretty clear Batman and Robin. But for the most part, the brand owners and the businesses need to know what is their primary thing. What are they advertising? For Mongoose Media, we're advertising book a call. We want you to talk to our team. And then our Robin is, okay, well, if you haven't booked a call, let's get you inside our ecosystem, right? These webinars would count as getting inside of our ecosystem. Heads up, Heather, you're saying the QR codes won't show. You're going to be responsible for putting those QR codes to show on it. I don't know what slide I'm on. So I don't know what the numbers are. Okay, so when we're talking about, we have our 2. If you only have those 2, you're a bit of a loser, but it's okay. We'd still do our Gen Z claps for you losers. But we want to make a bigger high five. Like, that's loud. I want to be loud with my bank account, loud with my high fives. The 3 that we say you can pick, we have 19 options. And that's not even an exhaustive list, team. 19 different pieces. So with the 19 different pieces, sorry, Heather, as you're messaging me, if you want to take over and show on yours, you can. You can upload it to a different on the placeholder one, and then you can be the captain of the slides. Otherwise, then just share it. It's okay. So we have 19 different options for Horsemen. Like, there's a lot. You can choose the 3 that make the most sense. Here's showing you like what those 19 can be. We have follower acquisition campaigns, and like these numbers, these are like our numbers. And just as a heads up, team, as I was talking to Heather yesterday, I was like, oh, I think we might need to like rearrange some of the numbers, because like we had that 6-7 situation where like, oh, that was funny. That was the first one that came up, but the 7-15, like I think this would be better. So anyone that's watching it, I will just signal that the numbers might change, but that's why you come each week. These are 19 different types of campaigns that you can run. And like here we have complete registration, submit application, book calls, and sales. You see these 2? And here, hybrid lead gen, like these that are highlighted, those can be your Batman or Robin. It depends. That's why it's Batman zone, Robin zone. More likely. But with everything, it can depend. If you have an app, that would make sense as your Batman. But if you're an e-commerce brand, your sales is your Batman, and then your app install could be your Robin if you're really pushing for app sales. Is this making sense? How like when we're saying we want you to choose, you're going to do your main 2, your hero 2, and then we get to choose of these, what do we have content for? And that's where it's like choosing fun of like supporting cast and supporting superheroes, right? Like everyone's a superhero. All of these can have the potential to have superhero difference, but at the end of the day, this is the ones that are like actually driving your sales. But the rest are marketing your brand. when we're talking about supporting casts, which can be like choose your own adventure, which 3 make the most sense, we're going to only put a small portion of our budget. The purpose of the supporting cast campaigns are like not the stars of the show, right? The second lead, the second male lead, the second female lead, whatever those are. They are to build an audience that your superheroes can help. And consideration, awareness, whatever these are, like it doesn't matter. Whatever the 3 you choose is helping Batman and Robin know who is inside Gotham, who's in their jurisdiction, who are they allowed to help. That's the purpose of marketing your campaigns so that you can, I have this giant screen, which I'm very grateful for, but when I accidentally open it up, it goes 48 inches. When you have those marketing campaigns, you're renting attention so much more cost effectively, and you're earning their trust so cheaply so that when Batman and Robin come in, they feel safe. Let's keep going down this Gotham example. When we have consideration and awareness campaigns that let us know who is in Gotham, and they understand like, oh, hey, let me teach you what the bat light signal is. Hey, this is what Batman looks like. If you don't do these marketing campaigns, let's say you're just doing one campaign and you're like, oh my gosh, at one campaign, you might as well just give yourself the middle finger, because that's what you're doing to your audience. If we're doing the Batman campaign, it's the only one. Imagine you're giving the middle finger, because the example is, if you don't tell people who Batman is, and then all of a sudden, a guy with a really deep voice like this shows up in your house, breaks through your door with a mask on, you're not going to assume they're there to help. You're going to assume that someone's there to kidnap you, break in, and steal all your, right? So if you have one campaign, big F you. We need to do the marketing so that people think that Batman is a superhero or a solution versus being the actual thing that's going to destroy them. We want to welcome Batman into our homes to help keep us safe. So these supporting cast help us identify who's in Gotham, who needs our help and protection, as well as make sure that Batman becomes not a breaking and entering. I'm glad that someone thought this was funny, because in my head, I was dying laughing. And then Heather is over here saying, love that explanation. Why are you putting that in the private chat? How dare you deprive the rest of the team from validating my humor? Okay, whatever. This is what you get when I'm like the only one, like, side note, I am talking to myself to a computer screen. So the only interactions that I get, like, I live for, because at least I know I'm not like monologuing to myself. So anyways, thank you. Appreciate it. Heather, don't hide. Don't hide my compliments. Wahahaha. Okay. See, look, there we go. Love the explanation. Thank you. Horseman 1, I think we talked about a lot with Batman. As I said, it's like 1, if it's here, it's the first one you want to do. So like 2, infinity and beyond. But if it's the only one you do, you change it from the pointer finger to the middle finger. You want me to do that voice again? I don't know how good that is. But there you go, Sammy, that's for you. Like, I love you. I don't know if that's the Batman voice. I think that, hold on, that sounded more like Yoda meets Star Wars. What is Batman? I am Batman. I don't know. Okay, whatever. This is taking a turn for like the worst. If you want to have fun with different voices, like I was a nanny for a lot of years, and so my favorite type of voices would be the ones where I'm talking like this, and because this is like, I don't know, imagine how annoying that would be. But whatever, we can keep doing accents, and if you participate in the chat, like I will make an attempt to read about the next slide in the recommended voice. I don't know which voice you're referring to, Guam, whether it's like the high pitched one. Even if we're pretending that we're like really excited and want to scream. I don't know. Whatever. Sammy, I'm glad that you're enjoying this. Guam, I'm sure I'm just like embarrassing the F out of myself. At least I'm not getting into like the really bad, like, if I were to pretend that I was French and going to keep going. And so we'll just do this slide because I think we all understand the purpose of the Batman campaign. Sorry, I'm just like really realizing that it's already hard to understand me if English is your second language. And I speak so fast to begin with that if I start throwing out really, really weird, like I am type of voices. Like if I type throwing out like those weird type of voices, no one's gonna understand me even more. Um, Moira Rose, like, oh my god, like no, that was more like Alexis. Oh my gosh, that's getting like too specific. I will for next time. I will practice a Moira Rose voice so that I can bring my like Schitt's Creek because I think it's like more of an attitude that she has versus like doing an accent because if that like oh my okay so, back to regularly scheduling programming. I'm getting more confused of like what does Moira sound like? Catherine O'Hara. Like what are just like, where's Kevin? But no. Okay, Sammy, this is the most entertaining webinar ever. Good. I'm glad that like you guys can laugh. You also see that it says like fish orange wide eyes. I don't know why Restream is hiding the emojis because I don't know what fish orange wide eyes like we have emojis with fishes in their eyes. So wait, oh my gosh, hold on, really bad joke. What do you call a fish with no eye? Right? And then but now you're having a fish with orange wide eyes, so then you have two eyes, so then it'd be like fish. Okay, I'm just gonna, I don't know if it's gonna work. So fish with no eyes is fish, and then fish with two eyes would be fish. So that's where I don't know, Bay, what that fish orange white eyes is. So anyway, back to this. I keep saying this. This is where like that should be the drinking game where every time I say like back to this, okay, we take a sip. 80% of your budget. This is the whole purpose of what we're doing. Robin can be like lead gen, can be subscribers. Again, everything, like always, it depends. And then you set up Batman first, and then this one supports it. I like using complete registration. If you're doing lead generation, there's standard events, 17 standard events within the Meta ecosystem. And when you're doing the standard events and you optimize for complete registration, you have access into audience definitions. You have to define that first, but that gives you a world of information. And so we want to have complete registration if you're following what we do on the lead side. I can definitely go deeper into this. I just need someone to like leave comments and we'll make that a bigger push in the next Horseman. And I can go deep on lead gen. Every one of the Horseman webinars that we do is always different. So we are going to be setting up on YouTube the playlist so that you can see the Horsemen, because I can talk about the 5 Horsemen for like literally 20 hours. Oh my gosh, Heather, you already have playlists. Oh, that's for creative diversification. I don't know, but we'll have playlists for each topic so you can see. But optimizing for complete registration has a lot of opportunity. I'm glad that Irish and Heather, or sorry, Irish and Bay are like, okay, there's an orange fish with eyes. Is that a real emoji? I need to understand if that's in my phone. The 3 horsemen, 3 fishmen in this fisherman in this example, one that I really like, so that you can use is a video views campaign. If you already have content like the Power 10, the 10 core videos, what you want to do is imagine one of the 10 videos you wish everyone who was potentially interested in your business could see before they got on the phone with you, before they got to your website. A lot of times this is like founder story about us, why we're different, us versus them, core authority leading videos. You get to push these and spend very little money compared to a $40 or $200 CPM for the sales objective. Here, you could be spending as little as like $15 to get in front of 1,000 people. And remember, you're trying to identify who's in Gotham. All the different signals on Meta, if they're watching 0 seconds, 3 seconds, 6 seconds, 15 seconds, entire percentage of the video, all of those signals feed into Meta understanding more and more about your ideal customer. This helps build your retargeting audiences directly and clear on that 5-minute warning. We're going to power through the rest of them. Thank you, Heather. So I like using video view campaigns. We haven't gone super deep on the video view campaigns in any of our previous Horsemen, as long as I can remember. But these next 2 Horseman campaigns, the Reach campaign and the IG profile visits, we actually did a full hour almost exclusively on these 2 campaigns. So you can check back the previous YouTube video about it, or if you join on a future one, just you're allowed to pivot. These are informal, but ideally to be informative. Team, same for you. If you don't recall the traffic campaigns or need a deeper dive, this is made for you. I'm training you guys to make sure that we're all aligned with how we execute the Horseman strategy. So while these are 3 examples, these 2, traffic and reach, I've talked about quite a bit more, but on the high level version, reach campaign. I know everyone hates this. I don't get it. You can spend $2 to $5 a day. If you're starting, so if you're a very small business and they're like, I've never advertised on Meta before, this is actually where I would start. I don't like when people try strategies that work for campaigns that are spending over $10,000 a month in ads or even $1,000 a month on ads. If all you've got is $2 a day, that's $60. I don't want to disavow $60 and say, I'm going to put $60, $2 a day on a performance campaign. It's never going to get anywhere. But a reach campaign, what I love is I like reaching. It's like the digital herpes. I want everyone and anyone that lives within the city of Gotham to see people giving testimonials about why Batman is the best superhero ever. I don't want my words to tell you. I don't want Batman to be like, I'm the best ever. No, that's not what I want at all. I want little Sally to be like, oh my gosh, Batman helped me get my teddy bear out of the tree and I love him forever. Or like you want like old man Carl who's going to be like, yeah, Batman. No, that wasn't an old man. I was like, what do you mean, old man? Batman, he really helped me get across that street. I almost got hit by a car, and he helped get me out of the way. That whippersnapper was fantastic. You have those different testimonials, and you can spend $2 to $5 a day to reach your full audience and let other people brag about you. Irish, I'm assuming this is structurally speaking, the top of funnel handles the most volume. So it makes sense to invest on that part of your funnel. It does handle the most volume because it's so cost effective in the sense of most volume. CPMs is how we measure the score of everything. You have the cost per 1,000 impressions. That's what CPM stands for. Cost per mila. Mila is Latin for 1,000. So when you can spend $80 to $200 to get in front of 1,000 people that have a higher likelihood to purchase, remember that 3%, or I could spend that same $80 to get in front of tens of thousands of people that are higher up in the funnel where I'm renting their attention and earning their trust. We're allowed to get more of that top of funnel and then continue to do their trust. Okay. These voices are a hit. I'm glad that some of these are coming in. Shake is like, I'm so worried of what the next voice is going to be. And Sammy over here is like, this is her favorite webinar ever. There's going to be someone that's going to watch this replay and be like, is Lauren actually in marketing or is she just like a wannabe stand-up? And the answer is yes. The traffic campaign we've talked about a lot. If you're investing already in growing your Instagram profile, you have someone that's posting for you, someone that's monitoring your comments and your DMs, and you're not investing at least $5, $10 a day to get your profile in front of new people in Gotham. It's like, why wouldn't you want to follow Batman? If you live in a city where he's protecting you, I want Batman's profile to be more about, because then again, I'm not going to enter your home and be like, I am Batman, right? Like that's going to be terrifying. Oh my gosh, I just realized, Sammy, I sound like your son. Oh, he is now my Batman forever and always. Okay, so those are the 5 Horsemen campaigns. In that $1,000 a day breakdown, it's not a steadfast, but this is to give you the idea. We're spending 70% of our budget on our primary thing of what we want to get done, sales. And then we've got $120 of that budget. So combined, we're just over 80%, right? So this is in generating leads. These leads should self-liquidate. This is a 3 to 5% that are ready. That was at like the way earlier part of this slides, wherever. The 80% is going those ready to buy. The 25%, I said the 120, so 700 ready to buy. 120 is the solution aware. That remaining, 30 plus 40, that's 70% left over is going to get the other supporting cast campaigns, where we have in this, if we were doing like a consideration play or a consideration play awareness, like so 80, 60, 40. This is if you're doing $1,000 a day. You can transfer that over. But if you don't have at least $60 to $100 a day to spend on a single Batman campaign, we're actually going to start in reverse. The piece that's really important to all of this is you cannot have the same ad across all of your superhero campaigns or your supporting cast. You need to have creative diversity. That's what has been built behind Andromeda. It's not an option. It's now a mandate. My 6 ad minimums, there's nowhere in documentation from Meta that is explaining that 6 ads is required. That's what I start with. Why? Because when they were pushing the Power 5 campaigns, they were saying a 6 maximum. They really wanted to consolidate. So now I'm like, okay, Meta, you changed the rules. I'm changing and flipping the numbers on you. There are a lot of brands that are doing 20 to 50 different creatives a month. It depends, like with everything. What are the resources you have available to this? How much can you actually put and how much are you spending? There are times when too much creative can hurt your account. But what's really great is when you're marketing your brand and using other supporting horsemen, you can bring in additional ads that allow people to learn more about you. Some people are going to resonate so well that they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so seen and heard." Say less. That testimonial speaks to my soul. I'm buying right away. You have that. The likelihood of you hitting deep inside someone's soul and exactly landing on what they want and need is pretty small. But the more options you create, the higher likely it is you're going to hit so many different people's like what's their reason for being. More on this is next week because that's what we're going to be talking about on the how. But in these campaigns that you're setting up, these 5 different horsemen, these Batman, the Robin, and your supporting cast, you do need to have different creatives for each one. We're going to be intentional. The way you win in 2026 is through personalization and relevance. And the best way that works is when you have strong creative that curates your audience. Your supporting horsemen are finding people that live in Gotham. You know how you find people that live in Gotham? You wear Gotham attire, right? You speak with a Gotham accent or whatever the Gotham accent might be. If you go into my Instagram and you end up seeing like when I had my cavity filled and they put the stuff, I sounded like I was from Brooklyn, but we'll pretend that's from Gotham to stay on brand. Sammy is telling me that I'm entertaining. So like, love you. Take it always. Thank you. But we're going to talk more deeper on that. Like we are already at the hour mark. And I want to go into that, but that's what we're going to be covering next week. It's creative diversification. I apologize that these images aren't coming through. That's okay. These are informal, right? But ideally, I hope it's been informative. If nothing else, wildly entertaining. If you're running campaigns, please stop doing that one campaign. You're giving a big FU to your audience and not allowing them the chance to be aware that Batman breaking and entering into their home is not a crime, but is actually there to protect them because he knows something that we don't know. And the algorithm behind Meta knows thousands of different signals about your prospective buyers that you don't know. So let's stop pretending that we're smarter than the algorithm. Let's start building full funnels. And if you want any help or any support on that, these are webinars. We participate live. Obviously, we make slip ups, and so we'll have a drinking game when I make a mistake. If you want personalized help and attention, amazing. We'd welcome you into Marketing Rehab. You can set up now. I'll let Heather can put on the screen whatever the Marketing Rehab is. But I'm really grateful for everyone that's been able to join, to the team. Time sure flew. I mean, especially when I'm making a fool of myself. But hopefully that this all connected with you. All appreciate you guys all helping me make this easier to articulate to the people that we teach this out to. And if you guys still have questions to the team, you have me in Slack. To the clients, you have me in Marketing Rehab. Hit me up with any other follow-ups. Thanks again for all of your time.